I wanted to record an addendum to my last video where I talk about the riots and how we're being put into this us against them situation where we're being engineered or steered into facing off against one another on a racial basis by race baiters who are eager to keep us at each other's throats uh, rather than aware of and opposed to our true enemy, our true ruler, the true ruling class, which is threatening us with all kinds of untold oppressions and terrors, which I've gone into many times lately and don't need to elaborate on now. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about some evidences out there that a lot of what's going on right now is contrived, or it's being orchestrated. I'm not saying there aren't real rioters out there doing riotous things. There certainly are. But there's plenty of evidence that there are contrived provocations to these riots, that perhaps they start out peacefully and then somebody does something to escalate things purposely, as if they were sent there to do that, to do exactly that. Now I'm going to show you one thing that's very interesting. This is a guy who was at a protest in Dallas, Texas, and he and his friend here, as they were coming to this site where the demonstration was to take place, they saw this stack of bricks, this inexplicably placed stack of bricks, right there in front of a very glass building, and he talks about it here. Let's listen. Let's listen in for a second.
This right here, yeah, this the setup. They put them there on purpose, bro. They gonna set them right up on the round. Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do the bricks go to? This is setup. Where do the bricks go to? We gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction. Gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction around here. I see it. Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay. Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better. Do better. I see you. This right.
Okay. So again, this guy's name. He's on Instagram. His name is Ruben Got Soul. And I mean, you got to admit, this is pretty strange that there would just be this pile of bricks that are right there, and it looks like this guy and his friend are smart enough to know what they're being asked to do, what they're being invited to do, what they're being provoked to do. It would seem as though there are forces out there that are trying to push us towards heightened racial conflict. I won't say race war. That's a little bit hyperbolic, but heightened racial conflict. And plus, there are people demonstrating who are white as well, like Ruben's friend here is a white guy. So it's not all racial, but there is definitely this aspect in which, largely black crowds of protesters, it seems like they're being, in this case, it seems as though they are being steered in a violent direction. Now, there were a few other things that I saw that I thought it was worthwhile to point out. And not to simp here, but what I found came courtesy of Brittany Pettibone, with whom I'm Instagram friends. Actually, I'm friends of hers. I don't think she knows I exist. But, but that's a different story entirely. Just giving credit where it's due. Now, Brittany had assembled a bunch of video on her story, on her Instagram story page, And she showed a couple of things that were very peculiar. There was one instance where uh, the riot cops just started attacking a guy, and it seemed to come out of nowhere, seemed to be unprovoked. Another one where there were cops standing around on horseback, and some protesters just sort of standing there, not doing anything. And one policeman on horseback rode up and trampled on this girl protester, again seemingly unprovoked. Finally, you may have heard this really strange story about the AutoZone, the mysterious AutoZone man. If you haven't, look it up. Uh, Derek Peterson, or Peterson, I think, is the name of who he has been taken to be. Now, let me explain what this particular story is, if you haven't heard it yet. In Minneapolis, a couple of days ago, before things just started to be set ablaze everywhere, there was an incident where this guy in full gear, wearing a gas mask, walked up to this AutoZone, and started breaking the windows. And some people asked what he was doing and if he was a cop, and he said, "What does it matter?" and walked away. Now, from what I have heard, some who know this guy say they recognized him, and that he was an undercover cop. He was a member of the St. Paul Police Department. I don't know whether this is true or not. The St. Paul Minneapolis Police Department has denied that it's this guy. It has denied that Jacob Peterson is this guy. Now, look this up for yourself. Look up the picture of Jacob Peterson. Look up a picture of Mr. Gas Mask in full gear breaking out the windows of the AutoZone in Minneapolis, and see what you think. They do look a lot alike. But if it's not the same guy, the question still remains, who is this guy? What's he doing there? This guy in full gear, professional-looking gear, trying to trying to push a crowd toward a destructive act, which of course they do. They take the bait, because unlike our friend Ruben here, a lot of them are just sheep. They're not very smart. They just go, a mob has a mob mentality. So they see somebody start with some kind of destruction, they follow up on the destruction. So pretty soon that AutoZone was burning to the ground. But it all started with this guy who looked very suspiciously like a police officer, or like someone there in some kind of official capacity who had professional looking gear. So there's a lot of suspicious stuff going on. A lot of suspicious stuff. So don't just take everything at face value. Don't just believe what you hear. I think that should go without saying, but again, they're trying to push us into two hostile camps. They're trying to make us go at each other's throats. They're trying to make us represent untenable positions. They're trying to make us say, well, rioting and looting is okay, because it's protesting a man getting killed by cops. And on the other side, it's trying to push you to this attitude where you're saying, damn these rioters and looters and all these N-words, these subhumans burning down all these buildings and acting barbarically. Who cares if one of them got strangled to death? It's, these are the kind of positions that it's pushing us to take. It's trying to make us dehumanize one another. And I think there's evidence that there are provocations that are pushing this along. And again, I would take this seriously. I don't know what I don't know for sure what the deal is with this stack of bricks in this particular scene, but let's watch it again because I do find this very compelling. Look at
Right
this.
here? Yeah, they put them there. This the setup. They put them there on purpose. Y'all know where we at. They gonna set them right up on the rail. Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do the bricks go to? This is setup. Where do the bricks go to? We gotta do better. Ain't no damn gotta do better.
Okay, so Reuben and his friends see through the ruse, but I don't know. Maybe others didn't. You know, you have this site where the demonstrators are going to go, and all of a sudden there's just a huge stack of bricks there for no reason. There's no construction going on anywhere in sight. What the hell? This is very, very, very suspicious. So, just wanted to add that addendum. Thanks for watching.